So first I want to show you the refill bottle. If you get one of the versions that has the refill bottle, it's a very nice refill bottle. There's just one thing that I don't love about them. While it has an insulator here that helps if you're going to screw it onto the 510 so it doesn't short out, the hole that's in it is so small, I end up taking these out of there. I just turn the mod off before I stick this on the 510 and fill. And it fills a lot faster. With this in here, it's just like, you know, it's just, to me, it's too small. They could work on, man, you probably make that hole a little bit bigger yourself. But yeah, stainless steel cap goes right on there. Seals it up real well. You can pull this off of here to fill it. And it's got a nice lip around that to seal it up. I've flown with these and everything and haven't had any leakage, so it's nice. 30 ml silicone bottle. You've got some kind of grip on the side of there to really make it easier to do. I really like them. That's how I use mine. But we did redesign the bottle on this to make that a lot easier to handle. Before we get into all that though, this is the box. Now this is a sample box. This is the standard version. Of course, you'll have all of your codes and stuff on here when you finally get it. The ones that were sent out to reviewers and to distributors and shops and stuff that are going to carry it, they all had, everything was completed on this. It was shrink wrapped and it also has a manual. I don't have the manual, but let me show you what this says on here. There's the highlights. That's what the kit contains. Mod sits inside that tray. You've got a USB inside of here. And under here you got a warranty card, and that's where your manual will be as well. Since I don't have the manual, I'm going to put up this graphic from the website here with all the specifications, and it's got a good set of specifications on the chip. So as you know from the previous version, extra panels, well, that is something that we like to do. And here, let me show you some of the options, you know, some of the prototype options that we were looking at. This is one that I've been rocking. I really want them to make this one. This is really nice. It's kind of like a faux abalone, but you know, you've got green in there, purples, blues, and blacks, and it's really nice. Love it. This one was really cool too, this green. Then they got stuff like this. Now you've seen these as stickers on the previous mod, but this is like kind of, if it's a sticker, it's like a puffy sticker. It's got a really nice finish to it. It's got a little grip to it. That's cool. Also the skull door. And then these with the swirlies on them, same way. So yeah, some of the different options that we might have. And of course, those colored frosted panels that are see-through, yeah, translucent, those are something I'm really interested in. You've seen the resin, so now I have the carbon fiber here. I can show you those. Got one that's kind of got like a metal stitch into it, and then one that's just a standard carbon fiber, and that's the one I like the most. So let's go over this one here because I don't have any juice in it or anything like that. So this is the exterior of it. Here's your 510. It is a nice sturdy 510. This 510.
And of course, to use it, you need either a 2700 or an 18650 battery. The device is going to turn on and boot right away and is going to be ready to be used. But of course, we have the bottle, we have the battery, now we just need the panels attached. And we are ready to go. And here is the screen. Here is the screen in regular variable wattage mode / power mode. You can see the little P here stands for power. We also have the wattage, the attached resistance, the applied voltage, and the battery bar. The attached resistance, when you don't have anything attached, is going to show 9.99 ohms, which I would much rather have seen it showing 0 ohms or just some dots. Be aware that 9.99 ohms means nothing attached, which you should know, you have nothing attached anyway. And then you have the up and down buttons that are going to adjust the wattage. Of course, you can scroll all the way down by holding the down button, and you can scroll all the way up by holding the up button. The minimum wattage is going to be 5 watts. You do increase or decrease in 1 watt increments, and you can adjust this device from 5 watts all the way up to 80 watts. It does not round robin. Every time you press the fire button 3 times, it's going to switch the mode. Now, for example, we are in bypass mode. In bypass mode, it is going to display bypass. It is also going to show you the resistance, which again is still none, the applied voltage, and the battery bar. Next mode is going to be temperature control using a stainless steel wire. This temperature control mode is going to work exactly the same as the other temperature control modes. So if you click it again, temperature control in nickel, temperature control in titanium. If you press 3 times again, it is going to go back to power mode. Every single one of those temperature control modes are going to work exactly the same. They are going to show you the material on the left, the temperature, the attached resistance, the applied wattage, which you actually have control over this wattage, and the battery bar. You adjust the temperature with the up and down buttons, and if you reach the minimum, it has a stopper, but if you press it again, it is going to go into degrees Celsius. Same exact thing to go or to switch back to degrees Fahrenheit. You have to scroll all the way down in degrees Celsius. And again, you reach the stopper, you press it again, and you are now back to degrees Fahrenheit. If you want to adjust the wattage in the temperature control mode, you press the fire button 4 times. Now you can adjust the wattage you want to have available even when you are using the device in temperature control. No matter the mode you are using this device with, if you hold both the fire and the up buttons at the same time, you are going to lock the device, but you do lock the entire device. You don't lock just the adjustability, you actually lock the entire device, even though it doesn't really matter that much to me, because if I don't plan to use the device or if I'm carrying the device inside of my pocket, I just press the fire button 5 times to turn it off. Again, same exact thing to turn the device on. 5 presses of the fire button are going to turn the device on. If you hold both the fire and the down buttons at the same time, you can rotate the screen, which is pretty nice, but just be aware that the up button will still be the up button, the down button will still be the down button. Rotating the screen, I would much rather see those buttons matching the screen as well, because if I'm looking at the screen in this orientation, I'm always going to assume that the left button is the minus button and the right button is the plus button. But if you want to rotate the screen again, you just have to hold the fire and the down buttons again at the same time, and the screen will go back to normal. If you hold all the buttons together, fire up and down buttons at the same time, you have stealth mode, which is not going to show anything on the screen, but it is still going to show all the warnings, all the messages that the device has to display to you, like warnings such as this one, it is always going to show. If you want to come out of stealth mode, you just hold all the buttons at the same time again. But now we also have a menu, and to access the menu you hold both the up and down buttons at the same time, and here is the menu. You have the back button, then you have 5 different DIY presets, which are going to be either power or temperature control custom curves. If you enable DIY and you press the fire button, then you are gonna see on all the modes, all the different modes, you are gonna see the 5 different memory presets that you can customize with your own power or temperature control curve. If you are using the device in power mode and you press the fire button 4 times, now you can customize your power curve. With short presses of the fire button, you can see that you can customize each one of the 10 seconds of your vape. You can customize and basically build your own custom curve, and you are always going to see the correspondent wattage on the corner. Then you hold the fire button and you go back to the working screen. If you select one of those temperature control modes and you press the fire button 4 times, now you also have access and control over a temperature control curve. Now you can customize or basically build yourself a temperature control customized curve. Again, same exact thing to come out of this adjustability, you just hold the fire button and you go back to the working screen. And of course you do have 5 memory presets as well in temperature control. To come out of the DIY mode, you just have to access the menu and you can select return. You are going to return to the previous, the original and the standard mode, being it a temperature control mode or even a power mode. Going back to the menu, still in power mode, you can see that we can also select voltage, and now you can use this device by volts. You can adjust this device in voltage. Maximum is going to be 8.5 volts and the minimum is going to be 0.5 volts. To go back to wattage, you just go back to the menu and then you select that setting again and it is going to go back to wattage. Next option is going to be ID, which is going to be the chipset ID. Next option is going to be the firmware version, which mine came with the firmware version 0.0.4. If you use this device in bypass mode, you do not have access to the menu. But if you are using this device in temperature control mode, no matter the material you select, if you access the menu, you still have the DIY profiles, but now you also have resistance set, which is going to allow you to adjust the resistance. Like for instances, if I have something attached, which by the way, every time you attach a new coil or the same coil, it is going to ask you if you are attaching a new coil or an old coil. If it is a new coil, of course you just press up. But now with the coil attached, you can see the resistance right here. This one is a 0.71 ohm coil, but if you access the menu, here you can confirm the resistance, and you also have the ability to change the resistance, which you shouldn't need. The device is reading the resistance a little bit off, but you shouldn't really need to adjust the resistance. The device should be reading and displaying the resistance accurately. Now, still within temperature control mode, next option is going to be TCR. Depending on the material you select to vape with temperature control, you have control over the TCR. Doesn't quite make a lot of difference, it doesn't really affect much, but hopefully they fix it with the firmware upgrade. And yes, no matter the material you select, you can still fine-tune the TCR for that material. Then you still have ID and the firmware version.